Hey, Scott Cam with the Courier Journal. I know you guys are probably a few weeks away from camp, but I don't know if you have an update on just the health of the team. I know some guys missed spring and were rehabbing.
Yeah, right now the guys have had a good summer. I think pretty much everybody's back. You're going to have a guy here or there that misses a little bit of time with maybe a soft tissue injury here or there, but usually that's only maybe a couple of days. All our guys have been out working. Some guys a little bit limited, but predominantly everybody's out there. Been working hard this whole summer and really, should be at full strength once we head to camp.
Go ahead, Dalton.
Hey, Coach. Dalton Pence, Cardinal Sports Zone. Renato Brown talked a couple weeks ago about whenever the state legislature got passed with the NIL and stuff like that, and talked about receiving some mentorship and stuff like that. What's been the coach's message to try to help the players navigate in these unknown times?
Well, really for us, it's all about the compliance piece of it, not doing anything that would hinder them from playing. This is all new territory for everybody, across the country, including our compliance department, everybody's compliance. And so I think for us, it's just make sure our guys are being safe with the decisions that they're going to be making concerning NIL and going through our compliance. I mean, again, this is something that is brand new, and we're all kind of learning and maneuvering it as we go. I do think it's a good thing for these guys to be able to have an opportunity to be able to make some extra money, on their likeness. But again, I think the biggest thing for us is not doing anything that would hinder them from playing, and number two, not doing anything that they could get swindled out of any kind of money. I mean, I just worry about, because you don't know if somebody approaches you and you don't know who it is, and all of a sudden you're giving out a social security number or a bank number or something. So we're just trying to have a lot of precautions with it and be smart with it.
Good, Cam.
Yeah, Scott, on the topic of Renato, this offensive line is probably, you probably say probably the deepest you've had since you've been here.
Yeah.
Is that the versatility you have with guys like Adonis and Brian Hudson, and even more guys than that? Is this what you wanted out of an offensive line when you started roster planning? Is this the type of group that you were looking for?
Absolutely. We want to be able to have guys and cross-train them to be able to play, guard, center, guard, tackle, to be able to play right side, left side. And we got some versatile linemen. Renato and Adonis are two that you mentioned. Brian Hudson can play both. Cole Bentley can play both. Luke Kendrick can play both. I'm really excited about our offensive line this upcoming season. More depth than we've ever had. Probably the most depth I've ever had in general in terms of any team that I've been on. You're looking at 8-9 guys that'll be able to go out and play at a high level. So I'm excited about the guys up front. We know where it all starts in the trenches. And I'm excited about our defensive line. I think we got really good depth there. We've developed some great players on that side of the ball. So in the trenches, to me, it's going to be the best we've been since we've been here on both sides.
Next question for Gary Graves.
Hey, Scott, I guess back to NIL for a second. How much do you, with everything being so new, how do you foresee it changing maybe your recruiting approach? What kind of questions go through your mind, what you expect to hear from a recruit in terms of their earning potential, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're not really supposed to use NIL for recruiting purposes, although we know those questions are going to come up, and I think what we'll probably end up doing is, you just kind of have to base it off kind of what your guys are doing at this point, and really some of your, once we get into this thing, 6 months, a year, I think we'll have a better idea of kind of how it's going to work and, the opportunities that guys are going to have. We know that we're in a great city here and there should be a lot of opportunity for our guys, with the amount of businesses that we have here. So it'll be very interesting to see how we maneuver through this. But really, to answer the question, it's really more about, we got a plan. Here's what we're going to do for you guys. We're using another company to help with some of this. They'll be able to see their earning potential. And a lot of it's based on their social media presence, I think, for these young people. But again, we're in kind of a learning mode ourselves with this to see exactly, how much and when and where these guys are going to be able to make any money.
Do you have a plan in terms of minimizing the distractions with that, really kind of keeping them focused on football?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked to our guys about that. You're going to have the most opportunity when you go out and play well, and, if you put a good product on the field and you're a good ambassador out in the community, and you're doing a lot of great things, then those are the type of companies or people that companies want to partner up with. And so, I think our guys realize that the fact that if I can go out and I make plays and I do a good job in the community, then I'm going to have more opportunity. And so our guys are focused on going out, performing at a high level and playing very, very well, to know what can come of that. If you just because you put something out on a social media platform and say, hey, I'm available, come get me. I mean, that's not the way it works. I mean, you're going to have a good product and go out and play well, in order to have good earning potential.
Next question to Michael McCammon and then Jody Demling.
Hey, Coach, Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority. Kind of a two-part question. You just announced the hiring of a new recruiting coordinator, Aaron Hodges. How important was it to fill that role? And you had and the second part had a huge month of June as far as recruiting. How do you feel you are as a program recruiting-wise for this class at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's always important to continue to hire people that can come in and help your recruiting. We know this day and age, you got to have a lot of people within that department that are doing a lot of different things. And we kind of just bolstered our department this past semester, and then hiring Aaron. I mean, that's just going to continue to help that. I think we're solid right now. I mean, it's still early in the game. I mean, there's still guys that we're talking to that, we'll hopefully be able to get some commitments here soon. The month of June was outstanding for us. We hosted a lot of great recruits and a lot of great families. It's the most busiest June I've ever been a part of. I think probably two-part, the fact that nobody's been on campus for a year and a half. And then, and everybody's anxious to get on campus and to be able to see them. And so once you open the doors, they were all there. And then the fact that, that June is open, it's a chance for camps. It's a chance for official visits, all those things, I think. And it was a great June for us. And hopefully we'll finish off with a great end of July and then obviously head into the season.
Go ahead, Jody.
Scott, hey, you mentioned the defensive line a little while ago. You have a grad transfer and you have a whole group of 5 newcomers. We've heard a lot about Ashton, but it seems like we will see probably a lot of new faces on the defensive line this year with all those new guys. Do you kind of expect that?
Yeah, I would anticipate that. A lot of those guys, most all those guys we brought in, could play. And so it'll be great competition. I think it'll just depend on what's happening in the fall camp. Who comes out of it, obviously the most healthiest, who comes out of it, at a high level, understanding what we're trying to do defensively, that are not making as many mistakes. I mean, Tech, when we had 5 defensive linemen total for 2 weeks against VT and Virginia, I mean, that was frustrating and extremely challenging. And now, I feel like we got a ton of depth there, probably as many as 10 or 11 guys that will be able plays. Yaya's been outstanding. He looks like we thought he would look when we ended up signing him. You mentioned Ashton. I mean, he's incredible. It's just a lot of bodies out there that I think that are going to give us a lot of good minutes. And it's going to help our defense. I think our defense will be the best we've had since we've been here. Our pass defense is one of the best out there last year. Our run defense will be better this year. And then we got to create more sacks and we got to get more turnovers. We had opportunities for interceptions and just dropped several, but I think they're going to be there this year with the push that we'll be able to get from the D-line.
Ken Spencer and then Cam again.
Scott, as you guys get ready to enter fall camp, in your mind, what's the position that maybe has the biggest question mark as you guys start practice?
I think probably safety position is probably number one. The biggest question mark, I think, and then probably just receivers, just because, losing Fitzpatrick and Atwell, who's going to be the next group of guys to come in, step in and make plays for us. Watkins, I think, has been really, really good. Tyler Harrell's really, really good. We know Braden, has been good for us. Marshawn Ford will probably increase his role at catching football. So probably the safety position will be number one. Biggest question mark, and really the rest of it we feel really good about, depth-wise and positionally, in all the positions. So, so we'll see. There'll be some different names out there at receiver making plays too.
Hey, Scott Cam with the Courier Journal. Do you have? I know you guys have added a lot of transfers this offseason. Do you have everybody on campus now, or do you expect them to be here in time for fall camp at least?
We have everybody on campus right now, and there potentially could be a late addition. But right now we have everybody on campus. They're here. They're all training. They're all working out. So we'll see where this month ends. We still got a few more weeks.
Michael McCammon and then Jody again.
Hey, Coach, obviously big shoes to fill at running back. How do you feel where you guys are at that position heading into camp?
Yeah, I think we're in a great shape. I think Mitchell's had an outstanding offseason. He's one of our leaders. He's in our 10-strong group and, been a great leader for us. Hassan Hall is, since the spring and summer, is back to where he was 2 years ago. So I think it'll be awesome. Cooley's been outstanding. Adonis, I think we got a lot of depth there. We're going to have 4 or 5 guys that I think we could put out there. You saw what Mitchell could do back, against Wake Forest. Had a great game against those guys, 160 yards. I think he's, he'll be that workhorse there. Hassan Hall is going to be that speed guy. Cooley's got great speed and vision and size. He just lacks experience. Very excited to see what he's going to be able to do. He's had a great summer, even compared to the spring. I mean, he's like a new person, new player. So it's exciting. Greg DeRozier is another guy who's played wide receiver. We played receiver and running back, so he gives another little a weapon. So it'll be a fun camp to see which one rises up to be our guy.
Scott, hey, it's Jody again. You mentioned we were talking about the transfers. You've done such a good job as a staff in the transfer portal. Do you guys have one person that deals with that's kind of, I know Pete and now Aaron will do different things. Do you have one person that specifically does nothing but transfer portal, or do you do that as a staff? And then I guess as a follow-up, do you think you kind of mentioned, could you add another transfer, I guess, late in the game?
Well, to answer that last one, yeah, we could add one more late in the game. We'll see what happens here. 90 guarantees on that, but potentially could. And then we do it. Our recruiting department handles that, headed up by Pete Nocta. And we're looking at them every day. We're looking at the list of guys that are coming out. All right. And then, all right, who may fit, what position do we looking for, and who may fit what we want. Then you reach out, you see if there's an interest with that. And then, of course, the whole staff jumps on board with that. And then, at that point, you work it and see if they want to, we're going to make this happen. So, but it all starts in our recruiting department. That's why you got to have, good people in that recruiting department, guys that can get the ball rolling, get started with being able to recruit these guys.
We'll take 2 more, John Lewis, and then close out with Cam.
Scott, Malik said earlier this year that one of the things that he really wanted to work on in the off season, although it's kind of hard to do, is cut down on his turnovers. Is there a way to do that during the off season? And is there anything else that you want to see him make a step forward here this year in?
Well, I mean, he certainly can work on a lot of different things fundamentally, throwing accuracy, all those type things. A lot of it comes to decision making, which, one of the things that he's been doing a lot more of is he's over at the office all the time watching film. I mean, he is studying film, and that's just going to help you mentally so you know exactly where to go with the football. You don't force the ball. I think at times last year, and there were several of those interceptions were on 4th down where, it's 4th down. We're just trying to get the ball out. Some unfortunate bounces, and they were end up interceptions. But the ones that really hurt you are the 1st and 2nd down type interceptions that and/or fumbles that you got to cut down on. But ball handling is another thing he's been working on in the off season. But we all know, and the year before, I mean, he had 4 or 5 picks the year before, 22 touchdowns. I mean, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks that Louisville's ever had. I mean, so, we got to get him back to that form, and he's worked hard for that, and I think he'll be back to that form. And at times last year, tried to do too much. He doesn't need to. Play within himself, play within the offense, and he's talented enough. He can make it happen.
Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, Scott, Jody hinted at it at my question about the transfers and the success you guys have had. I mean, obviously, Trey Clark's a big one, came to George last year. When you guys came into this year, you guys have added a lot of transfers. Was it a plan for you guys to dip into the portal and get a lot of impact guys this offseason? And what are you expecting from that group as a whole for you all?
Yeah, I mean, it was a plan. I think it's a plan for everybody across the country, actually. It's a way to go out and try to bolster your lineup. maybe where there's some deficiencies as far as depth goes, maybe get some guys that come in and have impact. Brian Hudson's going to be one of those guys this year. Duncan's going to be one at safety. I mean, Shy Warwick's at receiver and return guy. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these guys that have come in and help us this year that transferred in. I think it's part of college football now. It's once they open up that avenue where guys can move around to another school. You're able to help your lineup. You're able to bring in some good players. A lot of teams throughout the country did that this year, and so only time will tell of which ones are actually going to help. And for us, it's all about getting the right people. The guys are going to come in and work hard, not disrupt any chemistry that you may have on your team, and then also guys that are good players. And we've been very successful with that. I'm so happy for the guys that are here. Can't wait to watch them play this fall, and I think they're going to have a huge impact on our team.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate the media joining us, and we'll see you soon.